Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Like to welcome you all to the show as we close out this campaign season, and we all are aware of the new president-elect Joe Biden. I wanted to bring on Verbal Pick Radio's political analyst, Marcus Muhd, to the show. Brother Marcus, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir, brother. As always, we made a lot of interesting remarks in regards to this presidential election, dealing with Trump, dealing with Ice Cube's contract with Black America, dealing with what Black people should expect for our votes. And so now we're going to give you all a projection into the future, not as far as looking into the mindset of Joe Biden and what policies that we believe he's gonna present in the future, but mainly what Black people should expect within these next 4 years of the presidency of Joe Biden. Now, one thing I found that's interesting is I saw a lot of... No, let me take that back. One thing that I want to see, put it like that, is something for the Black vote, because one, he wouldn't have gotten a nominee if it wasn't for the Black vote, and he wouldn't have got pushed over the top if it wasn't for the Black vote. So, Brother Marcus, how do you feel that Black America should respond after Joe Biden is sworn in on January 21st, 2021?
Yes, sir, brother. I believe that Black people should hurry up and start sobering up from the jovial occurrences which landed Joe Biden and Kamala Harris president and vice president. I think we should start looking into the backgrounds and into the character of both individuals so that we can get a clearer idea of what their motives may be, especially if they're left unattended. And then I believe that we'll start coming up with more of a clearer idea as to what type of policies that will come from them that they can produce that will help us in our specific, in our unique situation.
Well, what's the celebration for? I'm seeing a lot of people, and a lot of Black people in particular, just they happy and they celebrating. What's the cause for celebration?
It really reminds me of when Obama was hired back in 2008, when everybody expected change. He ran on change. And so everybody expected change. Now, we happen to receive the same old thing from him and his administration. As soon as he got into the Oval Office, got into the White House, this time people expect sober attitudes, and people expect upstanding character. People expect not to be insulted anymore. Just whatever Donald Trump did to offend so many people. That's the only thing. All of this celebratory behavior is a sign of what we expect. Whatever Donald Trump did or didn't do to offend or not, or they just don't want to be offended anymore.
Right, you say most people like desire, but they don't like substance.
Well, we're not even looking at substance. I can tell already. We're just looking at we've made history and things like that. And I'm like, well, if you really look into these two people, they haven't done what you thought they've done, and that's how I know that we're not really looking at what we can really receive from this administration.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that point. So what we're gonna do here on Verbal Pick Radio, we're gonna have to project the thoughts for Black people in America to give them something to look forward to, right?
Yes, sir. And I'm not saying I'm ready to roll with you, but I'm not saying that we can't get there. But I'm just saying right here, right now, at this moment, we're not there.
Right. Yeah. And I'm thinking that the reason why we're not there because a clear plan has to be defined in order for people to understand, okay, well, this is the direction we should be going. And the reason why I say that is because they masters at recreating the same slave narrative and put it in different forms.
Yes.
I mean, I could tell by the speech Joe Biden gave, because basically what he was saying was, okay, black folk, y'all can go back to sleep. We got it from here. Thank you for putting me in the White House, but just follow my lead, and and you all will be all right. But don't push and don't ask for too much,
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is lay out the first path, right? We're gonna start with one. One is our black people see yourself as a first class citizen. Not second class citizen, but a first class citizen. And from your vantage point, though, brother Marcus, what can you give some characteristics or some attitudes or some type of description from your vantage point of how can we, the people, behave as first class citizens and not second class citizens?
But we have to demand that our tax dollars serve us. First of all.
Well, before you go on, hold on. I just want to set this up. I just want to set this up before you go further. He said,
yes, sir.
If you all are listening, he said, first of all, we have to demand that our tax dollars work for us. And the reason being is because that's what first class citizens do.
Yes.
If you're not doing that, you're not a first class citizen. Okay, brother, go ahead on.
You're not a first class citizen if you're not doing that, and you're not considered a first class citizen by others if you're not doing that. And if I know anything about black people, we want to be accepted. We are dying to be accepted because for so long we've been rejected. We want acceptance from others in the civilized society. Well, the first thing you need to do is respect yourself, accept yourself, and protect yourself. And you can't do any of that without first knowing who you are, and second of all, you got to have resources at your disposal in order to act out a civilized way of life.
Exactly. That's one. Because we getting down to attitudes. You got to walk like you're a first class citizen. You got to demand things as if you're a first class citizen. Because if you don't, there's running out of room for second class mindsets, right? Okay.
Yes.
So your tax dollars needs to work for you, whether it's building infrastructure within the community. You're a first class citizen, so there should be no food deserts within the community.
Right.
So, we need to find a way to solve that food desert problem, brother. You got any suggestions on that?
Well, just like it's the law that you can't put a liquor store so close to a school, there should be a law that you can't build so many residential areas without a grocery store in the vicinity.
Mm.
And you're not seeing that right now. You're seeing apartments stacked on top of apartments, and you may have a grocery store, 2 or 3 miles away for hundreds of units of families. It's a problem right there.
Right. See, right. And the reason being is because, when the COVID first hit, and they were saying how black people were more susceptible to the disease due to heart conditions and high blood pressure and diabetes and whatnot, right?
Yes,
Well,
sir.
what do you think contribute to those ailments when the only food place is a corner store, a convenience store, and you getting Cheetos and putting that old chili on them and trying to make meals and whatnot because there's no nutritional value in the food. You're constantly eating the hot dogs and the chips and the sodas. Of course, by the time you hit 35 and 40, you're suffering from these ailments because of the food desert. You're not getting any fresh vegetables and fruits and whatnot.
Yes, sir. And that takes us to education. Because for the life of me, I don't understand why nutrition isn't taught in the school curriculums. When everybody got to eat, and eating food sustains life and adds to the quality of life or destroys the quality of life. Why isn't nutrition taught in the schools?
Yeah.
And
No, I'm agreeing. I'm saying yes, sir.
yes, sir. A lot of things need to be taught in the schools that are not being taught. How to balance a checkbook, how to deal with a bank account. Just certain things that you're not finding that are viable to living a civilized life and adding to or taking from us quality of life is not being taught in the schools. And all of these things are being skipped over to rush you into becoming a better employee for a corporation.
Right. Now, we're going to wake some people up tonight because that's the purpose of this show. Now,
yes, sir.
Of course, if the colonizer is over the school curriculum, it wouldn't benefit him to put that knowledge, especially within black communities or black school systems, right? Or predominantly schools that are black. What he does is he'll teach that information and knowledge at home.
Right.
But not out in the public because they're always looking for that upper hand, that advantage. It's a strategy. Right?
Yes, sir.
So
yes,
then,
sir.
as first class citizens, we gotta demand it be taught in the school and in the home, or meaning we have to stop accepting excuses and stop settling for less.
Right.
And the reason why we're first class citizens is because we put the president in the White House, Joe Biden.
Yep.
So we some bad people. I mean, we cold. We did that.
Yep.
We had the power to do that.
Absolutely.
So now we gotta walk around like, we achieved something and we demand something because, hey, without us there'll be no use. So, let's get this thing rolling. But one thing I don't want to do, and it's just such a touchy subject because so many people get in trouble for speaking on this, but I don't want to tie the black community with the LGBTQ community, right?
Right.
And I'm going to tell you the reason being is because it'll skip over the injustice that black people suffer and the police brutality that we suffer because you don't get pulled over and shot or get pulled over driving while LBGT because you could be white, Hispanic, and call yourself minority and nobody knows, right? But when that cop see that melanated being driving that car, they spot you dead on, spot us dead on, right?
Right.
So when we start trying to intertwine the two, then they'll put the LGBTQ community as a priority first, and then we'll get pushed to the back again. And we can't afford that right now. So it's certain dynamics that go along with that, and why we say, hold on, don't intertwine the two plights, because black folk have a older systemic problem that has to be solved first in order for this country to heal. We got to deal with these issues. I mean, we didn't get the 40 acres and a mule. We, as black people, black community, was not allowed to read or write in this country. Certain things that was done to us that set in motion what's happening today that didn't happen to the LGBTQ community. So we got different plights, is all I'm saying.
Oh, it's totally different. Totally. The LGBTQ community were not descendants of slaves.
Right.
It's not them. I mean, you can be a descendant of slaves and have chosen that lifestyle, but you can't throw the gay community and the black plight all into the same. I'm trying not to say bag, because that's not a good term for what I'm trying to say, but you can't put all that together because it's not even the same. Plights don't even exist on the same map.
Right.
This black people been here since the beginning of time, and we are written in the scriptures as those who will be in bondage for 400 years, and that we should come out in good substance after the God come and grant us salvation. And that's how we are described in the scriptures. The LGBT community is described in the scriptures that way.
Right.
I'm sorry. You call me what you want to call me, but call the scriptures that too. If you're gonna call me that, then I'm good with it. But I'm just saying, I don't want to get all off into all that, because that's not even my argument. I can care less.
Right.
What I'm just trying to say is, we are pretty much old. I ain't gonna say pretty much. We are old. We are old something, but we are only getting more destruction. A lot of it is at our own hands, and that goes to the education, and that goes to preoccupation, because we can't get a breather in order to sit down and think about what the hell we doing. It's day to day trying to find the next sandwich. Right. You feel me?
That's right.
This is not anything. This is not something that the LGBT community is facing. This is not something that all minorities are facing. This is not something that all people of color are facing. We're talking about black descendants of slaves here in North America. Is the community of people who are facing these atrocities that must be addressed, especially by those who are benefiting from it, namely Biden on down.
Right, fact. So what we're doing is, he's January 21st. I'm saying, okay, James, I'm saying by February the 1st. We got the contract with Black America on the table, with our leaders saying, okay, you in the White House, you said once you get in, you look at it, let's look at it, and let's deal. Because it's time to seize the moment. The time is ripe for us to start addressing some for us to address these different agendas that's dealing with the black community. But I do like the fact that Cube's name is spearheading this, because he represents a different dynamic of thought in regards to black people. It's not the same. It's not cultivated in the same civil rights mindset, I guess is what I'm saying. It's more on an aggressive conscious level, or more of a black power level, in a sense, meaning that we want something of substance, and we don't just want uh, a good rhetoric and good songs and a pat on the back and a nice friendly smile. You know, we don't want to be handled like we're children or like we're slaves. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Q.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna say Q came up and played a very significant role in this whole election. More significant than even I would say Obama himself. Obama at this stage in the game is pretty much a good entertainer. He came out and he did some fiery words, but as far as moving the needle, I don't think he did much in that regard. But Q, you know, people shooting at him real hard, especially our own people, because the white media told us to do that. So we shooting at him real hard, most of us that are ignorant. But either way you look at it, he played a significant role in how the outcome of this election happened, because if you have Trump followers, and just check this out, if you have Trump followers seeing the Trump administration sitting down talking with Cube about a platinum plan, how do you think they feel about that? You know? Mm-hmm. We throwing off on Cube like you splitting the vote. But I think the vote might have been split over there also if the vote was split on the side of the Democrats. So you got to respect just a man standing up. Something good is going to happen for you. That's what we're not understanding about being independent. Mm-hmm. If you stand as an independent, then you shouldn't be swayed this side or to that side, and you can't be named or called a certain thing, because you are where you are and you're doing what you do on your own, and it's for yourself. So, but we too busy letting the wind blow us wherever we go. You know, everywhere we go, the wind blew us over there. Mm-hmm. So now we all excited about us, this new administration coming in, right. and they haven't even done anything for us yet.
Right, I know.
They didn't even run on anything.
Yeah,
they just said Trump is bad and coronavirus needs to be handled.
Right.
And here we are. He got more votes than anybody in history.
For real.
Not because he came with a plan, because he didn't.
Right.
Trump was just that crazy.
Right. I sometimes I wonder if the Democratic Party be like, wow, we ain't really got to do too much, and they loyal to a fault around him.
Yeah, well, you know, a minute you saw O'Biden go and take a seat for a minute, they was like, well, where is O'Biden? Where is O'Biden? Damn, I want to say O'Biden bad. Right. Where is Biden? You know, and he was in the basement. And then Trump had to call him out the basement. You know, right. It's just wild, man. You know, but I mean, when you stand up and you start doing things for yourself, something's going to fall in your favor. Is all I'm saying.
True. Now Trump saying, "Hey man, this thing not over with. We still going to the courthouse, and I'm not going to concede." And Trump actually was saying that he won the race and whatnot. Do you think when it comes to January 21st that Trump will go and humble himself and get on up out of there?
I doubt it. That remains to be seen.
Right.
I've seen a hint here and there of humility from the man, but I don't. You know, it didn't take long before he just went back to who he is. You know.
Yeah, he can't help himself.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't. It's going. And then once he do leave, if he ever leaves peacefully, it's still going to be the Trump show going on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, because so many of his support or his base are saying that, you know, it was stolen from them and whatnot. But I just brought that up just to show that, you know, black people and Latinos, in a sense, that's not our fight. We don't we not in that, right?
Right.
Our most part is seeking some fairness and some justice. You know, that, and for black people, that's been our plight for years, bro. Years. And so the reason why we're doing this is because, one, Joe Biden gave his word that he'd sit down and meet and discuss the contract with Black America.
Yes, he did. Say it again, brother.
Gave his word. And you know, your word is your bond. So
he gave his word that he would sit down and he would speak to us about the contract with Black America.
That's right. So we got to hope now we have to hold him to that. And I don't want us to get so caught up in the celebration that the fact that he in the White House till we just go back to sleep and put our guards down, because he's not going to remind us that he made the deal. He probably going to wait till we come back and remind him, hey man, remember this deal? But if we get the party and don't nobody say nothing, and if if it just kind of fall by the wayside or whatever, I personally will be through with the whole ordeal, and I'm talking separate and let's move on, build our own thing, because it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's up to us. It's not up to Biden, because he's a politician, and he knows.
It's really not.
Yeah, he know how to duck and dodge.
It's really not up to him. It's really up to us to act like what we say we are, citizens of a democracy and patriots. We have to go and make sure our representatives are really representing us.
Right.
And stop looking at this thing like it's a talent show.
Right.
And whoever sing the song that make me feel better, feel the best, is the one I'm going to vote for.
That's right.
You know?
For first class people, get some first class things, man. Get some first class treatment,
Right. Expect first class.
We spending over 1.3 trillion a year. That damn. What the hell? Hold on, let's address that, man. Hold on. 1.3 trillion, right?
Right.
We bring in more than the government of Mexico, right?
Right.
So what the hell are we doing, riding down streets with potholes and stuff that's not together with all that kind of money? We've been played.
We've been played for our votes. Being played for our votes, because the tax dollars are supposed to go towards making sure our infrastructure is straight in our hood.
Right.
Not Memorial and Kingswood and New Pearland and all these other places, and the regentrification spots in the city. Where we spend money and where we live and reside at is where that tax dollar is supposed to come back and serve us. But it don't, because of gerrymandering and redlining.
Got to do more better. We got to do better.
Now, when somebody, I listened to your other show.
Yes, sir.
Where the children in the Pearland High School came with the rebel flags on, wearing the rebel flags.
Right.
Things like that, so I'm like, hey, why don't you just go in there and wear you a flag that represents you?
Right.
Yeah. And that you can't get an audience from the school superintendents. They ignoring your phone calls. They don't care that people stayed in the school till 10:30 in the morning,
right,
all day long, going from class to class, representing,
right,
until somebody finally asks them to leave.
Right.
Would you please leave so it won't cause any trouble?
Right, because the news cameras coming and whatnot. Right.
Yeah, right. It took all that.
Right.
But if you really want an audience, go in there with an African flag on and see what happens.
Right.
Go in there with a flag on with a black fist on it.
Right.
And see what happens.
That's right. But
you're going to get an audience.
That's right. But
that's how people who consider themselves first class behave.
that's right. You free. Wear what you want to wear and use your First Amendment rights.
Yeah, quit worrying about what he wear. I mean, there's something about them and losers that they don't care that they lost. They're going to still stay attached to it because of the ideology of the loser.
Right.
They're going to roll with Trump. Trump lost.
Right.
They're going to roll with him till the wheels fall off.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? They're going to roll with their rebel flag and with the Confederacy to the end of time. They even to the point where they even throw up the Nazi flags right alongside of it, you know. They lost. The Nazis lost. The Confederacy lost. Trump lost.
Right.
They don't care. It don't matter. So why fight them? Let them do what they do.
Right.
And you do what you do.
Right. Right.
Consider yourself a first-class citizen. And quit getting excited just because you get a little something. Oh, we won the election. You didn't win the election. You're going to win if you go in there and tell the people that you elected to do what you need.
Right. Now you winning.
Now you're winning.
That's a win. And they do it.
And they do it.
Now, because now you got something you can touch and you can point to and you can look at.
Right.
Yeah. Other than that, you just got words and empty promises. And at the, just like you start off clapping real loud, and when you wake up and realize you got played, those claps come slow and silent, and it's like, damn, they got me again. But really, the egg is on you.
It is. Falling for the same okie doke.
Same okie doke, man. And they know how to. I mean, when I heard them start quoting Bible verses, I was like, I sure hope you don't put that spell on black folk and put them back to sleep.
You know they're gonna do it. You know that.
He working his mojo, boy.
I mean, I ain't heard it yet, but man, but the way you're describing it is really sad and sickening. That it's the same old game going into 2021.
Child, man, they
but they do like a bully. A bully will bully the ones that he can bully.
Yeah.
You get handled the way you allow people to handle you.
Yeah.
And so they pulling out these same old tricks. It's because they know it's going to work.
Okay. That's right. Because we know terminology and we know words and we know double speak, double talk. And when you give a speech and you use roundabout words such as we will and we need to, and but without actually addressing saying I am going to put policies in place, and these are the policies that will, and the result of putting these policies in place will end police brutality in the black community. We sat down with our team and we prepared a scientific way that will put fruits and vegetables within the black community, which will help aid in their health, which will also help fight off diseases such as flu, COVID, and what have you. I mean, if you're really doing something, you coming at it direct,
And you can do that. They can do it if they really wanted to. They can break it all the way down to the very least common denominator. They can break it all the way down scientifically, like you said, to the mag. Look at the way they bailed out the Wall Street in 2008. Mm-hmm. And that's how we should expect some fast policies to happen from Biden, because our crisis is bigger than the economic crisis of 2008 and any damn economic crisis. The black man and woman's crisis. And if you don't believe me, look at how we are the essential workers during a pandemic. Had they not made it really a title, the essential workers, it's just you and me, it's us. You know what I'm saying? The menial job workers. Go to work, make your little something, go home so you can make it to the work, make it to the job the next day. Or the essential workers. Okay. What if we didn't do it?
Yeah.
That's a crisis.
Well.
So how come we can't be afforded benefits for the things that we do and for the value that we add to this country?
Yeah.
For the quality of life that we provide others through our labor in these menial jobs.
Well, we got to put forth a real challenge.
Okay, but they can break it down to where we are benefited, to where we are living a higher standard of life, because they can send money all the way overseas to other countries, billions and billions and billions of some of our tax dollars to prop up other countries due to their experience with other countries. And if you don't know what I'm talking about Israel. Go look up the number of dollars that's sent to Israel every year. And it will really blow your mind just to imagine people getting money like this for something that somebody else did to them, not America. Not the so-called Negroes. We didn't do anything to them. You know, but so many of our tax dollars go over there along with everybody else's. So don't tell me that we can't be given reparations the same way that other places and other nationalities get reparations. Obama gave away land. Obama gave away land like, you know, whenever he felt like it. Here you go. You know what I'm saying? Clinton gave away land like it ain't. China owned half the natural parks because they couldn't pay off debts. Here, well, take this national park. You think you, American citizen, own these national parks? You need to go look it up. It's China's. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you own land somewhere, then if you own land and you have a debt over a country, what does that tell you about the ownership?
Who actually owns it?
Come on. So don't tell me that they can't break us off. You know what I'm saying? Especially if we got a plan. We got an intelligent, grown up, I'm tired of being a slave plan. Don't tell us that you don't have the money, because you found money when you needed your essential workers to continue working. And you gave them a little something, you know what I'm saying? And then when it came time for the people to start voting, both sides held back on the crisis stimulus. Like, if you vote for us, we gonna give it to you. Right. But if you vote for us, we gonna give it to you.
Right. And nobody got nothing.
Nobody got nothing. Both of them like, well, wait till after the election. We gonna see if you put us in office, we'll give it to you. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, playing games with us. Playing games with us.
Playing games with our lives, man. Wow, but
no, we gotta demand more than that.
Yeah, we got to. I mean, this is the time. Time is right. We got to make moves, major moves. We got to make major demands. It's time to deal.
It's time to deal.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, it's right in our faces. You know, so yeah, we got to decide our next move.
Before they have time to run out there and start doing their regime change, warmongering, because then they're gonna act like they too busy. You know, that's gonna be the story of the day in the news about how they making war somewhere in a foreign country. You know, that's the Democrats for you.
Yeah.
So before they get to doing all that right there, we need to already be in negotiations, in conversation. We kingmakers, man.
Right.
just accept it. You know what I'm saying? They got to come to us to be king.
Right.
So let's get something out of it.
Right. Right. That's right. And that's the mindset we have to have. We can't survive with any other mindset than one that tells us, hey, let's get something out of it for our hard work. We earned it. We ain't asking. We earned it.
Right.
So give us what's due to us so we can move forward and build something prosperous for ourselves and the next generation to come.
Yes, sir.
It's that time, brother Mark. Always, man. It's always is a pleasure to discuss these topics. And after this, the only thing that probably would need discussing would be if something just significant happens and in the court dealing with Donald Trump and him still saying that he won the election. But for right now, it seems like it's over with, brother. Brother Mark, thanks for being on the show, brother.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Yes, sir. Till then, Verbal Pick Radio. We're out.